for you guys. I know there's a tag going around called the Ride or Die tag, so I figured I would go ahead and record that for you guys, just in case anyone was interested. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into some of my favorite products. First thing in the Ride or Die tag is your favorite primer. So my favorite primer is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizing Skin Equalizer. I do feel like this gives a good base. I do tend to have very oily skin, so for me it's hard to find a makeup primer that doesn't really kind of break down my makeup throughout the day, and that's why this one works. Next product I'm going to talk about is my Ride or Die absolute #1 foundation. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay. I'm in the shade light beige. I've repurchased this and repurchased this and repurchased this. This is probably like, I'd say at least my 8th or 9th one, and as you can see, it's kind of running low on product there. I'm squeezing just every little bit of drop out of it that I can get, but this one does provide a full coverage. I do feel that the title or the name of the foundation does not lie. It definitely is a 12-hour makeup. I can go to work my 12-hour shift, come home, and still have plenty of this on and have to scrub it off with makeup wipes and just, a face wash. So this is my #1 foundation. Next product is the concealer. I know everyone's talking about the Tarte Shape Tape, but this one for me is still my favorite. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Concealer. I'm in the shade Light Warm. I do tend to highlight with this one. Again, I don't feel like this creases. It does last me through a 12-hour shift, so there's nothing bad that I can really say about this product. I just love it, and it's my favorite. Next product, I'm sure you guys have seen me use a million times. This is the face powder. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. I know everyone's familiar with this one. This is my favorite loose powder. My favorite face powder I can't actually find right now, but it is the Gucci. It's in a compact. It's one of their pressed powders. I'll try to pop the name up on the screen for you. But I know it's one of the Gucci pressed face powders. It's my favorite pressed, not loose powder. When it comes to under the eyes, however, I do always set my makeup with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. This is also a very good one. Again, it does what it says. It's a brightening powder for under the eyes. It doesn't make my makeup look cakey throughout the day, and it just does a really good job of setting the under eye for me. The next one for me is the blush. This is, again, my favorite blush. This is the Tarte 12-Hour Amazonian Clay, and this is in the shade Pampered. This did come in a holiday gift set one year, and the other shade I think was Savored. I had that one. I burned through it. I went through it like a crazy person. So this obviously being the second shade in the palette or in the kit turned out to be my favorite blush. I do use this one on a regular day basis, especially when I'm going to work or I just want to throw on some makeup real quick. I'm always grabbing for this product right here. And again, this is in the shade Next Pampered. Product is the my favorite bronzer, and this is the Hoola by Benefit. I've gone through these multiple times. This is probably my 3rd one. I have, I guess, purchased some new products recently for bronzers, but it's been a lot of drugstore products. So for me, this is always going to be my #1. I always go back to it, and I always just feel like it does a good job. It's the bronzer kind of contour shade I'm wearing today. I do feel like it does a good job of contouring. I do feel like it does a good shade or a good job of bronzing. I am very pale skin, so for me, this kind of warm, ashy, gray, brownish tone works very well for my skin tone. Next product I know everyone is familiar with. This is the highlighter that Jaclyn Hill created with Becca Cosmetics. This is in the shade, obviously, Champagne Pop. I have almost all of the Becca highlighters other than this Pearl, I think. Ooh, Pearl and Opal with the tight close between those, because Pearl works very well for me, especially in the winter time, but Opal is an everyday color. But for me, because I tend to go with a lot of nude eye looks and things like that on an everyday basis, I just feel because this has that pinky peach undertone that it works very well with a lot of the nude looks that I personally like to create or like to do them, even when I'm not recording. Next favorite product is my mascara. And this is the Tarte's Light Camera Lashes. I cannot tell you how many tubes of this I have purchased. I have these, and then I have backups of this also. No matter what, I feel like it always gives me that full voluminous look to my eyelashes, even with just one coat of mascara. It's never clumpy, it doesn't get flaky, and it doesn't make my eyelids or eyelashes crunchy, which I know a lot of people like the Benefit They're Real, but for me, that makes my eyelashes crunchy, and that's why I love this one, because I feel like it doesn't do that, and it does everything that it's supposed to do in a mascara, or that you would want a mascara to do for you. Okay, next product is a little odd. This is my favorite lipstick. My favorite lipstick shade is by Kat Von D, and this is in the shade Piaf, or I guess that's how you say that. It's named after one of her cats. It is a very odd shade. It is a very brownish with like purple glitter in it. Again, very odd, but if I could only ever wear one shade of lipstick for my entire life, this would be it. I love it. I could wear it every day. Unfortunately, it's not very, well, not for me, for what I do, but for a very work appropriate lipstick. But usually when I'm not at work, this is my favorite, and I've honestly worn this to work a couple of times. I don't think anybody ever really compliments me on it, but it is my all-time absolute #1 favorite shade of lipstick, and this is the Kat Von D in Piaf. Next product is my favorite liquid lip. Again, this is going to be no surprise to anyone, especially since it's super popular. This is the liquid lip Kat Von D, again in the shade Lolita. I couldn't decide between Lolita and Bow and Arrow, but I feel like Bow and Arrow can wash me out a little bit, so I've decided to go with the Kat Von D Lolita. This does have that really nice mauvish kind of red undertone to it. The reason I love these so much is because you only need one coat, like one swipe of this. It's not patchy, it's very comfortable, it doesn't really dry out my lips through the day, and I can eat through this, I can drink through this, and this seems to last me. The next thing on the Ride or Die tag was a gloss. I hate glosses. I am a matte lip person, so for me, I don't spend a lot of money on lip glosses. If I were to spend anything or buy lip glosses, I'm not gonna lie, I just go to the Dollar Tree and buy them. So for me, the LA Colors Clear Lip Gloss, it's in the shade Clear. There's really no name on it, but for me it does what it needs to do. Again, I'm not a glossy lip person. I like very matte or maybe a satin finish, and satin finish is kind of pushing it. It's not my favorite either, but I'm not going to spend a lot of money on lip gloss, so I just go to the Dollar Tree and buy whatever clear lip gloss, and this one smells really good. It's kind of got like a really bubblegum scent to it, and it works fine for me. It doesn't really smear out my lipstick. Obviously, it's not going to last all day or last long. Most lip glosses don't, but for $1, next product on there, I can't really say that I have any at the current moment, would be lashes. I don't wear lashes every day. It is very dramatic for the type of work that I do. In case that you aren't aware, I'm an emergency department nurse, so eyelashes aren't very appropriate every day for work. Outside of work, when I obviously go glam, and that's basically every day, I do prefer just good Ardell Demi Wispies, not the double stacked or the double ups or anything like that, because I don't really like working with the band on those, but just the Demi Wispies, because they have that Invisiband on them. They're great. They look very natural. They're very full, fluttery lashes, and they're affordable. I mean, $4 a pair, and I can probably wear them 2-3 times, but for $4 a pair, I'm not going to complain about that. So those are my favorite lashes. I'm sorry I don't have any with me right now because I've probably worn them all. Next product is my favorite eyeshadow palette, and I probably should have warned you guys that there's going to be a lot of Kat Von D in this video. However, this is my favorite all-time eyeshadow palette, and this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. A lot of warm neutrals in there, a lot of cool tone neutrals in here. The only thing, it doesn't have like a very shimmery eyeshadow. Obviously, this is an all matte eyeshadow palette, but I feel like no matter what, I can always create a good look with this. Anytime I travel or I go somewhere, this is my eyeshadow palette that I always take with me. I usually take this one, and then I'll take like my Makeup Geek just Z palette that has all my Makeup Geek shadows and all my foiled eyeshadows, and those are the only two that I ever travel with, because I just feel like the shades in here are amazing, and there's not much. I mean, they're blendable, they're everything you want. All those nice words that everybody says. They're smooth, they're buttery, they're blendable, they're beautiful, and I could not live without this eyeshadow palette. This is the one that I take everywhere with me when I travel. Finishing close up, my favorite setting spray that I like to use is the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. I do usually tend to use this on a day-to-day basis. Again, this is something that works for me, especially when I am at work. I feel like this does have mostly keep my makeup on throughout my whole shift while I'm at work. I always travel with this one. This really is kind of one of the only ones that I ever buy. I've repurchased this one multiple times, and I just love it, and I think it works great, and especially works great for me. So the last couple of things weren't really thrown into the Ride or Die tag, but because I don't really use eyelashes, I don't really buy gloss, I figured maybe I could just go ahead and throw in my own. I'm gonna talk about eyeliners that I use on an everyday basis. This will probably come as to no surprise to you, especially if you guys have watched my other videos, but my favorite liquid liner is the e.l.f. Expert Liquid Liner in the shade Jet Black. I'm sorry if you can't see that, but this costs $2. My favorite thing about this is the brush tip on here. It is a very, very fine brush. It is very smooth. One little stroke there, so it creates a very thin line for you. It does dry down matte. It's not too shiny. I don't feel like it's hard to work with, and it dries really fast. So this is my favorite liquid eyeliner, the e.l.f. Expert Liquid Eyeliner. And then my favorite pencil eyeliner, I know I've talked about these a lot, and I'm not an Avon rep by any means, never have been, but the Avon Glimmer Sticks, and this is in the shade Blackest Black. It's just one of your little turn up twisty eye pencils, and then again, it's very dark, very smooth, just creates a nice little line, and it stays in the waterline all day. I don't like waterproof eyeliners, so I just buy the typical just regular eyeliner, but they do have these in the waterproof colors, but this one for me is the one that I always grab for. Alright guys, last and final product that was mentioned in the video is your favorite perfume. I have two favorite perfumes, but I always feel like I always go back to this one for some reason, and the reason I always go back to this one is it reminds me so much of my husband. I don't have the lid for this. I've had it for quite a while. I have this in the roller ball thrown in my purse, but this is the DKNY Red Delicious Apple perfume. Sorry if you can't see that again, but it just reminds me of my husband, and I don't know why, but he loves the smell of it, and every time I wear it, he always compliments or he always says something about it. So this is why this has got to be my favorite perfume, not only because of the way it smells, but just because of the memories that it kind of brings back. It's a very sweet smelling perfume, so if you don't like sweet, or if you like the musky like undertones or woodsy scents, this is definitely not for you. This is very like floral, very fruity smelling, and again, it's just a very okay guys, so that completes this video for me. I do hope that you've enjoyed this type of video. Again, it's a little different obviously from what's been on my channel. I know I've had a lot of tutorials, but I wanted to go ahead and just try to give you guys obviously my top favorites and things like that, and try to let you guys know a little bit more about me. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, just feel free to comment below. I'll answer as soon as I can. But if there's anything else you guys want to know, or any other videos that you guys would like to see, just comment below and we can work on that. So again, thanks for watching guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!